here, opening bell. We're getting the second trading day of the week started the 28th of November. Let's walk you through very quickly the markets, starting with Nigeria. The banks roared on Monday to start the new week on the back of the news that the central bank is planning to roll out a recapitalisation program for the entire banking sector. Is coming 20 years after a similar program was done back in 2004, 2005 by Soludo when he was the governor of the central bank. Now, the new CBN chief, Olayemi Cardoso, says the bank should prepare for that exercise again. No further details were provided on Friday at the dinner speech that he had for the final time this year with the Chartered Institute of Bankers and other executives. The stock market roared very strongly, roughly 132 billion on Monday in reaction to that latest announcement. There were also serious bargain hunting and a pile into fixed income on Monday on the back of the announcement that the central bank is hunting for or targeting single interest rate as well as inflation moving forward. The BRVM slumped by 0.1%. That's the composite. The stock market in Cairo started the new week with the rest of the region and the continent with very strong 2.39%. Then you got the NSE pulled back with profit taking by 1.12%, still holding the 90 level, by the way, on the all-share index. And the GSE fell roughly 0.5%, led in the red by the resources on the exchange. That's the all-share index. Again, that was in line with the global developed and emerging markets, which softened on Monday across the board. Let's get on to see the top headlines as we get into today's trading day. The economy in Kenya will need a whole lot to move forward. President Ruto signs a supplementary budget, and that is on one hand. You've got the 11 state-owned enterprises that the presidents announced that will be privatized. He made some announcements at last week's African Securities Exchanges Association annual conference in Nairobi. The total figure will be around 35. Looks like the first batch will be 11, and this will include some strategic national assets such as the Kenya's refinery, as well the pipeline company, the pipeline in Kenya, as well as the oil company, National Oil Corporation of Kenya. The startup, a company called Mpost in Kenya, has moved its headquarters to Rwanda, and that's a new address for this company, startup that specializes in digital address for companies and individuals. Stanbic Kenya reporting third quarter earnings ended September. Profit up 32.7% to 9.3 billion Kenyan shillings. In the meantime, Kenya Power and the Kenya's electricity transmission company says they are in bed together for a asset swap deal of worth about $460 million US. And Tanzania's FDI, and that's one very big news, doubled more than 1.5. This is about 1.5 billion US dollars at the end of September. In third quarter, a whole lot of work being put there in Tanzania by President Samia Suluhu since she became the first female president of the East African economy. Okay, let's give you a few shots into Nigeria's news, with Radisson Hotel International reporting that it's in bed with the Edo State government to expand, and for the first time, outside two of Nigeria's biggest markets, Lagos and Abuja. Now, Radisson Hotel says it's putting its footprints in Benin City, the state capital of Edo State in southern part of Nigeria, to expand its footprints to 12 hotels in the country. And the banking stocks, as I said earlier, still rallying on the Nigerian bourse. They got a whole punch to the upside from the central bank governor talking about recapitalization. We wait for more details. What will be the size? The last recapitalization in 2004 and 5 was 25 billion. What will be the headline figure that Cardoso will place on the table for the banks, and what will be the timeline to meet the new higher capital requirements? Analysts, however, asking questions around this recapitalization, whether it will meet the desire of that $1 trillion economy that President Tinubu spoke about. All that still in the details. The Bank of Ghana, the central bank, yesterday decided to hold interest rates unchanged at 30%, keeping one eye on inflation that is tapering a little bit. And 8 money transfer operators have been cut off the system. Togo's 2024 budget is projected higher by about 9%, and the figure is now looking at about 3.6 billion American dollars. And Azalai is opening its first hotel in Dakar, Senegal, investing about 28 billion CFA franc. That's some good news. Let's move it up to Southern Africa. And of course, the Bank of America has named a new country director for South Africa, and that's Anthony Knox. In the meantime, the GSE has welcomed Goldman Sachs, one of the world's biggest investment banks, on the exchange as a product issuer for warrants and derivatives on the biggest exchange on the African continent. But of course, you've got tougher rules coming through next year for OTC derivatives and currency trading in South Africa in the wake of that probe into allegations of rand rigging in South Africa. Yesterday, we heard from the Standard Bank CEO, Shabalala, who says that the bank has committed no offense as far as rand rigging and currency or criminal activities are concerned. The European Union is resuming budgetary support for the economy of Malawi, which is struggling as we speak. And the new rugby chief for Africa, Mensah, says he wants more investment or improved financial support for this rugby sport on the African continent. Congratulations to Mensah as the new head of the rugby sports. Of course, South Africa, you remember, lifted the World Rugby Cup for the fourth time just a few weeks ago. So let's finish off in North Africa, where Egypt has launched its first ATM for gold bars. Well, put in your ATM card, and then you got gold bars. Egypt is innovating across the financial corridor, and it's floating $150 million debt papers as well for both local and international investors, but mainly for international investors to plug into the financial markets and the economy. Tunisia is offering its first subscription to finance its budget for this year, while South Sudan has vowed stringent measures against those who are manipulating the country's currency through trading. And not so fast. That's how to paraphrase what Mauritania's central bank told Coris Bank International in its plan to acquire the units of SocGen, that's Société Générale, that is based in Mauritania, part of Western Sahara. Now the central bank there says, not so fast, hold it a little bit. We need to check the papers and everything to be sure everything is fine. So that acquisition plan by Coris Bank of SocGen in Mauritania is a little bit delayed. Keep that in mind. That's your contract opening bell. Get Tuesday up and running. Have a profitable trading day, everyone. And I'll be here with you very soon.